Welcome, my friends. It's Ample Raven here, and I hope you're all doing well. So we're going to be talking about some drop rates, changes, and the mechanics of the game, new warships, and submarine discussion that's come out from the latest dev blocks at the moment in World of Warships. Now, my first thoughts about this topic is the following. 10.9 has come out recently, and submarines, as you know, have hit the random battlefield. And my view about this was very, let's just say, hesitant about telling my views on stream about this. So I'm going to tell you the truth, how I feel about it, on off stream instead, in this video. So, submarines to me, it is a gimmick that has been put in the making for a very long time. Now, as a person who has played World of Warships for so long, who has really enjoyed himself for a very long time, and is very passionate about the franchise and everything, all the above, I just feel that subs in general, when they first came out in the PTS, that was enjoyable. When they first came out onto the live server for co-op mode or mixed mode of their own, it was okay. Then when it came more and more common in co-op mode and ranked battles I seem to respect that a bit more, that challenge, because it promotes a lot of communication, people working together, and people having to use their mechanics more often for anti-submarine warfare, or ASW for short. Now, the criticism I have about this is that the anti-submarine warfare in King of the Sea, as you know, is banned. Now, I will say this very vocally and about this, is that I believe that it should be banned in King of the Sea, and the reason why is because, very simple. If you don't know what anti-submarine warfare mechanics does in the game, folks, is basically, let's just think about it this way. You have some ships that have depth charges. Alright, that's fair enough. Not all warships do have depth charges though. So the ships that don't have depth charges would have aircraft flown in to go over a certain location, over the target wherever the player specifies, and people would be able to bomb the crap out of the enemy sub that's there, hopefully, in a way, but drop their charges from the planes. Now, it's all well and good, but it also causes an opportunity to spot the enemy as well too. Now, mind you though, that if you have no subs in random battles and use anti-submarine warfare, if it's available, I have to admit, more power to you. However, it is a bit disconcerting and disheartening for players on both sides, because without anti-submarine warfare mechanics, you have radar. And if the radar is only temporarily and it has a cooldown and it goes off, just like hydroacoustics does, then obviously you're doing something right, which makes sense, in my opinion. So obviously that it's actually pretty good, having that aspect, but anti-submarine warfare ability should be disabled in training rooms. Now, there should be an option for it actually to be added, so that whoever is hosting King of the Sea, the tournament for each clan session, they should have ASW disabled, anti-submarine warfare mechanics disabled, so that it's fair, there's no one causing any cheating or anything like that. Unfortunately, people have been caught using it and they got their ass kicked by the COTS team, in aspect of saying like, hey, you've been given a warning about this and you know it's been banned. This is the conditions, and if you're doing it, you will get kicked. And there are some people who have been let off with a warning. Some have just been booted out of the competition. So, give or take, it happens. Now, I will say this very vocally though, in regarding to the submarines mechanics with the sun-upping, the homing torpedo mechanics, they have improved over in time. There is some, slight changes that it will make in order to stop homing in and continue in a straight line. That needs to be fixed at some point, but that's a work in progress. Um, the popularity of subs is not that great. I mean, like, I have to admit that it's not basically the way I see it for subs at ranked versus random battles. It's not really that common. Now, honestly, just by reading what they're saying here, it looks like that the submarines have been a little bit, fluctuating in popularity for its use in ranked, from ranked to random battles, and obviously it is interesting. Now, the damage that they provide from the subs to the players is actually pretty decent at this stage. But it is actually interesting with this graphs and the history behind it. So anything could happen with this, to be honest, to be fair. And this opportunity for them to test it out in random battles is a bit of an eye-opening change, and honestly, wargaming is testing its waters. Now, honestly, random battles for subs, is it going to be worth it a long time? I don't think so. I think that honestly, subs should be removed from random battles and have their own game mode, which is like Wolfpack, which I mentioned a few times. Now, Wolfpack mode will be beneficial for a lot of reasons, like, for example, going up against convoys in operations with subs to hunt them down, sink them, have players on both sides go up against each other, like in convoy mode. Yeah, I think that, it's just a matter of finding the right spot, the right sweet spot of the gameplay mode. So that is really, really testing waters with everything going on. Depth charges is really not needed at all, but this is really, really hard to say at this point in time. The team size and the servers, it is really hard to predict, but they're still working on it at the moment for different tiers from 6 to 10. So it is a bit hard to find the right sweet spot for how many subs should be for a 7 versus 7 or 12 versus 12 fight. So they're working on it. They're working on it. So definitely keep an eye out, folks. I mean, like, Wargaming is still working on it, and honestly, as you can read the description here, but the combat missions results for the gain those subs, you have to go through base XP. So interesting times indeed. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is in regarding to random mechanics and drop rates. Now, people have been talking back and forth about the game drops and mechanics in the game itself, and honestly, it brings back a lot of good memories and vibes in this. So it looks like that they're talking about the basic previous history about the past containers, like the Chinese New Year ones, also Black Friday and a few other things. So they were trying to increase the drop rates of the ships. As you see, starting November, all new containers and random battles will be sold with drop rates disclosed. So basically, all the information will be there. This is the opportunity for what you can get in the near future, which is fair enough. There'll be basic mechanics published on this in the near future, so feel free to have a gander and read this in the near future. Probabilities of expected values. It's actually interesting to read this part because they talk about how the players will be lucky or not lucky in getting something. So honestly, they do need to address this a bit more, and at the same time that with the information that's been provided in that comment paragraph right there, I just feel that some of it, statistically speaking, that Wargaming could have done better. But it is not a good sign. So, in some things, so be careful with that. And the guaranteed drops and informing is actually really different as well too. So there is interesting news about this one. So in relation to this news, there are two promises worth mentioning. A warning about the nature of randomness and additional protection in miners. For miners, yeah, that's good. Because like in the next month, all containers and random bars will be sold for money or doubloons, and we'll have a warning about their random nature and their need to make weighted purchases. We'll have 18 plus confirmation prompt before making a purchase, and that's actually a good thing. This is actually some critical feedback that was given from a lot of people out there. Me personally, here in Australia, people don't realize that it's that easy for a kid to play a game that it was rated PEGA 13 right down here in Australia. Now, I've been telling my friends that the game should be rated M15 plus or MA 15 plus, which is mature audiences, and a warning to all people out there that this game has gambling mechanics that involves real life money that can cause an effect on people's wallets, and that's if not being controlled or handled properly. There are some people that I've known in the past had bought stuff from Wargaming, then spent around about over a couple $1,000s just to get certain ships from Christmas containers, for example, and they didn't get what they wanted. So that says it all, doesn't it? So basically, when I say that sort of things, I try and keep it very professional as much as I can. But it is a dire learning curve. But I'm glad that Wargaming is finally taking moves to ensure the safety of people not misusing this in future, and it's good that they put 18 plus. I think it's a good idea. Wargaming should keep it like that, and I hope in the near future that we will see more of this like this in the near future, for not just Wargaming products, but for all franchises around the world. Because there are people out there who think it's easier just to whip out their mummy or daddies or their brothers and sisters or friends' credit card and rack up a big umpteen bill. Now, honestly, if they ever did that, gaming companies would not like you in general, that when it comes to refunds, because that if you're trying to get a refund for it, Wargaming in the past, and this is just from speaking from past experience here, I had friends of mine who had bought stuff online with Wargaming, and then they had to be put in the category of not blacklisted. It was more like on the lines of back pay, and basically if you're unable to pay the stuff, like say for example you spent like $200 in trying to get some doubloons to gamble for the ship you wanted, and you wanted to get a refund for it, and then Wargaming would turn around and say, nah, this is an invitation treat and you already spent your money, but here you go, you can have your money back, but we're going to ban your account anyway. Now that means that you owe money to the company, and the only way to get like certain things like maps, skins, ships, and things like that, if you owe money to Wargaming, then you have to eventually fork out money of your own and pay it back to them. that sucks, but it is what it is. It is the way of the law when it comes to anything when you're doing international purchasing of any game out there. Wargame is not the first one, nor the last to have done this. There are other games out there like Activision, Blizzard, or EA are very, very common for doing so. And yeah, back pay is bad. It doesn't look good on you. It really doesn't. And the anniversary stream announcements. Since the 6-year anniversary for World of Warships, which we have made it this year, fantastic. There's a new ship going to be in the ranks, and that is recognized in the National Day of Spain. And the new Spanish cruiser, Canarias, is actually coming out soon. So Canarias is a good ship to come out in the near future for T6, and it'll be fun to play real soon. For those Spaniards out there who want to represent your heritage, family, or your country, now is a good opportunity to get that real soon. So yeah, folks, I mean, like, that's the gist of it of this video. So getting back into the random mechanics and random drop rates, there's a lot of things that's happening in World of Warships they're trying to improve on. And honestly, if they're trying to work hard at improving the drop rates and stuff like that, and it works out to everyone's future and favor for this, and yeah, I think we definitely would be on board with it. Right now, I remain skeptical, and at this stage, I just don't believe what Wargaming will say at this point in time. Because Wargaming will say one thing, and then they'll say another thing. So, we have to be careful. And it's just like how the submarines were explained. And honestly, subs and random battles, not many people can, care about it, really. Because, like, when they see subs, it's just like, instead of taking out DDs first, you take out the subs. That's my point of view, anyway. So, anyway, folks, I think that will be a good wrap up of what I'm thinking right now. So, yeah, if you have any issues or concerns, I mean, like, definitely check out this video later on at some point. I will leave the links and everything in here for you to check out on it and read up a bit more in depth. But honestly, what I'm seeing right now is just like it's really up in the air. So we'll see, and sooner or later we're going to be having like super ships and World of Warships in the near future. So my friends, I'm going to call it there, and if you need anything, folks, I mean, like, you want me to review for game replays or talk about certain topics or anything like that, definitely reach out to me. I will do my best to try and get back to you and create a video about it. But hey, first of all, thanks again, and stay safe and take care.